Your gut screams no, but the word that comes out of your mouth is yes. You're the one who stays late, the one who never complains, the one who absorbs the tension in the room. You tell yourself it's a virtue. You call it kindness. You call it being agreeable. But as you lie awake at night, another feeling surfaces, a quiet, burning resentment. You feel invisible. You feel disrespected. You feel like a ghost in your own life, and you have no idea why. You think you're being a good man. But what if that very goodness is the reason you're being walked all over? The Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Carl Jung, a man who dared to map the darkest continents of the human soul, revealed a shocking truth about this condition. He discovered that the modern man's greatest weakness isn't his anger or his pride, but the parts of himself he has buried alive. Jung exposed a fundamental, dangerous misunderstanding about what it means to be good, and most men will go to their graves never understanding this. They will live and die as hollow men, polite shells, wondering why the world never truly saw them. The price of this ignorance isn't just a lack of respect. It's the slow erasure of your own soul. The illusion is seductive. Society hands you a script from the day you were born. Be nice, be accommodating, don't make waves, suppress your anger, turn the other cheek. This, they tell you, is the path to being liked, to being accepted, to being respected. But that is a lie. The reality is a brutal reversal of that promise. Your constant accommodation isn't seen as kindness. It's seen as a lack of spine. Your refusal to cause conflict isn't seen as peacefulness. It's seen as an absence of conviction. They don't see a good man. They see a void where a man should be. And this misunderstanding is costing you everything. You're losing promotions to less competent but more assertive colleagues. You're losing the respect of the woman who wants a partner, not a servant. You're losing your own self-respect, one tiny compromise at a time. You have been trained to negotiate yourself into oblivion, not because you're kind, but because you are terrified of what you might be if you weren't. Let's be brutally honest. Your boundaries are violated constantly. People are late to meet you, and you say, "It's fine." Friends ask for favors you can't afford to give, and you say, "Of course." In arguments, you concede points you know are right, just to end the tension. You are a ghost. You haunt your own life, making no impact, leaving no trace. The pain of this is a constant, low-grade hum of dissatisfaction. This isn't a behavioral flaw, it's a structural one. Carl Jung called the missing piece the shadow. The shadow is the repository for everything you have disowned about yourself. It's your aggression, your righteous anger, your capacity for selfishness, for cruelty, for saying a definitive, ground-shaking no. Society, your parents, your teachers, they told you these things were bad. So you locked them in the basement of your psyche. You built a socially acceptable mask to hide it, what Jung called the persona, the nice guy. But the world doesn't interact with your whole self. It only interacts with your mask, and it senses that something is missing. It senses the lack of density, the lack of danger. Here is the truth that will either set you free or send you running. No one is walking over you. You are laying yourself down for them to walk on. You are complicit in your own erasure. You have chosen harmlessness and mistaken it for goodness. You have amputated the most dangerous and therefore most potent parts of yourself, and you wonder why you feel so powerless. The one thing you lack isn't confidence. It isn't a set of communication tricks. It's the integration of your own monster, your shadow. This is where the logic of the modern world shatters. The more you try to be universally liked, the less you will be truly respected. Respect is not given to the compliant. It is reserved for the formidable. The more you avoid conflict to keep the peace, the more you wage a devastating war against yourself. Every yes that should have been a no is a betrayal of your own soul. What you think will make you a good man, your harmlessness, your endless flexibility, is precisely what makes you a weak man. And a weak man cannot be a good man because he doesn't have the strength to stand for anything. Let that sink in. Your virtue is your vice. So what does the world tell you to do? They sell you empty solutions. Be more assertive, the self-help gurus chirp. Just say no. Fake it till you make it. You've been told to stand up straight, to use a firm handshake, to make eye contact. These are tricks. They are decorations on a hollow structure. It's like putting a roaring lion sticker on a poodle. The bark might change, but the bite is non-existent. Why doesn't it work? Because you're just putting on another mask. An assertive persona over a terrified core, and people can smell it. They can sense the fear behind your eyes. They can feel the tremor in your voice. And what is this doing to you? The repressed shadow doesn't just disappear. It festers. It leaks out sideways. It becomes passive aggression, sarcasm, bitchiness, resentment. You become the nice guy who is actually deeply unpleasant to be around, simmering with a rage he refuses to acknowledge. The truth is far more brutal. You cannot act your way into a new reality. You must become it. The only way out is through. The difficult truth is that you must voluntarily descend into the basement of your psyche and confront the parts of you that you have locked away. You must look your own capacity for malevolence in the eye. You must acknowledge the beast. This is the path of individuation that Jung spoke of, the process of becoming a whole, integrated individual. Why won't most men do it? Because it is terrifying. It means accepting you are not just the gentle lamb, but also the ravenous wolf. It means realizing you have the capacity to hurt, to destroy, to terminate. It goes against every be nice platitude you've ever been fed. But the reward for those who dare is realness. It is an unshakable core of self-respect that radiates from you. Your boundaries are no longer lines you have to desperately defend. They become an energy field that people intuitively feel and respect. You don't have to act strong. You simply are. This isn't for everyone. It's for the man who is sick of being a ghost. You think you are kind. You are not kind. You are harmless. A rabbit is harmless. It cannot choose to be anything else. A trained lion, a dangerous beast that has its own power under voluntary control, that is a truly gentle creature. Its gentleness is a choice. You want to know why they don't respect you? Because you have no teeth. Because your yes means nothing, as you are incapable of saying no. Because your peace is not a choice. It is a default setting born of fear. You are not the problem. Your incompleteness is the problem. You are only half a man, presenting the socially acceptable light side, while your darkness rots in the cellar, poisoning the entire foundation of your house. That darkness you fear, it's not your enemy. It is the source of your power. It's the engine. It's the steel that will form your spine. Carl Jung wrote, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And what he meant was this: true goodness is not the absence of darkness, it is the integration of it. It is knowing you could crush someone and choosing not to. It is knowing you could rage and choosing composure. It is having a sword, knowing how to use it, but keeping it sheathed. Which means you are not meant to kill the monster within you. You are meant to tame it, to harness its fire, to turn its terrifying energy into a force for order and integrity in your own life. And now, you must choose. You can continue to live as a harmless, respectable, invisible man, a half-person, forever at the mercy of those more whole than you. Or you can begin the terrifying sacred work of descending into your own depths to reclaim the other half of your soul. The choice is now. The path begins with one act. Stop apologizing for your existence. Stop shrinking to make others comfortable. Start by acknowledging the anger, the resentment, the aggression you feel. Don't act on it. Just acknowledge it. Give it a name. Look at it. Become the man whose presence is felt even in silence. The man whose no is a complete sentence, backed by an unshakable force. The man who is respected not because he is loud, but because he is whole. When you integrate your shadow, you don't become an evil person. You become a dangerous person who chooses every single day to be good. And the world can tell the difference. Remember that feeling? The dull ache of being the reliable one, the good guy? Recognize it for what it is. Not a virtue, but a warning light. It's the cry of a starving, neglected part of your own soul. The world does not need more nice men. It needs more good men. And true goodness is a terrifying thing, for it is forged in the fires of self-knowledge. It requires the integration of the very monster you've been taught to fear. If this message stirred something deep within you, something you've kept locked away, don't just scroll away. Subscribing is more than a click. See it as a commitment, a first step on the path to reclaiming your missing half, to becoming whole, to finally being seen.